Hey guys, what's up? You know it's me, Nick the Bander here. And so, yeah, I said earlier I was going to probably do some other video, so I decided I was going to do Prototype. Yeah, basically. Just explain why Prototype 2 failed, basically. In my opinion on why Prototype failed, it's basically kind of because, oh, well, obviously it was the sales, basically. Overall, the game to me was good. I did like it better than the first one. I will admit that. I did like Prototype 2 better than the first one. But the sales for Prototype 2 were not good. They were not that good. They weren't sufficient enough for goddamn Radical Entertainment. They weren't sufficient enough. So I'm just going to pretty much explain, see my opinion on it, and just kind of explain the whole general idea to her, to how this probably happened, whatnot. Also, comment and respond to some of the stuff I say in my video, if you would. You know, every little bit of information helps. So yeah, let's get started. So, Prototype 2 came out in like 2012, and instead of using Alex Mercer, you were using James Heller, a new character who seemingly lost his family during the outbreak. Yeah, during the outbreak. Because I think, because New York changed for a couple of years, like after Mercer left. He left New York City for a minute to try to find himself, try to understand what was the idea based on things. But and he kind of, I don't even really know because I didn't really read the comics much. Because I just looked on Wikipedia page there like I always do, and just read the information about it. It basically said that he left New York, went and killed somebody's boyfriend or yeah boyfriend or husband, and he kind of just went in disguise for him for a while to try to understand people and whatever and all that good stuff. So after that, he tried to help and it didn't really wasn't working. And then when he finally didn't, when at the end he decided like he can't really do this anymore, he turned back. The people tried pretty much tried to kill him. He killed all of them, and that's when he finally declared humanity is lost. They're just a dying breed. They need help. So that's why he tried to. By the time two happens, he returns and he's trying to like infect every living person with the black light virus. That's the point. In two, that's why he became who he became in two. Why he seemed so more menacing because his demeanor changed towards humanity. He wanted to help humanity, but there was no point in trying to help humanity considering what happened. So that's exactly what happened. So you go into the role of James Heller, a man who loved his wife and child very much, but lost them during the outbreak, and because of that, he changed. He was no longer that happy man anymore. He was just more. He was more. I gotta put it. He was more, you know, angry, more impatient, more just vengeful in a sense. So like in the beginning of Prototype 2, he kind of becomes this. He kind of meets Mercer. First he really can't do anything against Mercer, obviously. See, he meets Mercer. He does actually get hits on him. You know, he stabs him a few times with his knife, but it mean he pretty much run away from a big giant ass monster. Like I don't know what the fuck it was, just big giant ass monster that he ran away from. And I'm like, he really ran and got away from anything, which kind of surprised me because like he was just gone. And then it was simple. Then it's a simple fact that even though he did try to stab him, you obviously know it wouldn't do shit to Alex trying to just hit him with a few stab shots. It obviously gonna fucking work. So after that, he infected Heller with his virus, and Heller ended up gaining similar powers to him. And then he made it his mission to after that to basically stop Blacklight and stop Mercer from trying to turn everybody into like Blacklight like virus soldiers in essence. So you spend most of the time of spend most of the time of Prototype 2 just kind of doing that. Um, New York is kind of different compared to how it was in the first Prototype, and gameplay in Prototype 2 is I can definitely say this, and I think a lot of people could probably say this, that it is definitely easier to play Prototype 2 than playing Prototype 1. Cause I feel like in Prototype 1 it was just hard. I felt Prototype Pro. It took me a long time to finish Prototype 1. It really did. It's like I got the game back in 2009. I think I didn't finish Prototype until like maybe 2011 or 2012. Might even been 2013. I don't know, but no, it couldn't have been 2013 because I got Prototype later, so it might be 2011. But it took compared to Prototype 1, Prototype 2 was like harder. Prototype 2 isn't harder. Damn, what am I talking about? Prototype 1 was harder than Prototype 2. And I think that's probably another thing that deterred a lot of people was the difficulty. I mean, sure, it's like this. Prototype was hard, and it was very hard. It was like I almost wanted to like just throw the controller at the fucking TV at how hard it was. But by making Prototype 2, they made it too easy. It needed a middle, as somebody told me one time before. It needed like a middle difficulty. It didn't need the whole it's super goddamn hard to it's just way too damn easy. It needed that, it's pretty challenging, but you can get through it. It didn't have that in two. It was just pretty breezy. It was easy. Not to say I didn't die a couple of times, but it was all for very stupid reasons. I didn't really have too much trouble with Prototype 2, not at all. So yeah, I never really had too much trouble with it at all. And that was, like I said, that was probably another reason why the games didn't really get that much up. And then, like, you have to think on the sense of reviews too, because the reviews for Prototype 2 were actually pretty good. I don't know compared to the first one how well they were, but I've read that most of the reviews for Prototype 2 were actually good. They were positive reviews. But I mean, you can take reviews, but that doesn't really translate well into game sales. That's all. And like they said, they didn't meet the status quota with Prototype 2. Because they said that because it didn't get a broad enough audience to maintain a series, basically. So it's kind of what happened. And Radical Entertainment downsized to basically like a supportive role for Activision. So that means basically, in essence, that they weren't going to make any more games. They were just going to take a supportive role for Activision. That's what it was originally thought, because they said they had laid off people too. But it was also later on found out they said, yeah, layoffs did happen, but the layoffs weren't as bad as reported. They weren't like thousands, hundreds of people were laid off. No, it wasn't like that. Maybe like couple people were laid off, but no, they're still able to make their games. But yeah, still able to make all their games and stuff. Cause they said they got a big project coming up recently, but nobody knows what that project exactly is yet. So whatever that project is, it might be better than Prototype, because I think they're done with the Prototype franchise in general. Well, not franchise. I mean series. I don't know if I think yes, you can call it a series. But yeah, that was why that happened. Prototype. It was a good game. It's a good series. I just kind of hope that I can get more out of it, cause I really hope somebody makes more. Like, I think I read something up. They said like, not they, but it's like people said they should probably just get Ubisoft to do it. I'm like, I don't know. I do kind of want to see another Prototype, because I just like to kind of see where the story will go. Maybe they can make a female Prototype. I don't know, but it'd be some interesting ideas for another Prototype. Would be kind of cool. I just love like I said, um, Radical Entertainment kind of even advertised the game like this is like the game that you would play like if you had a bad day and you just wanted to like just proceed to beat and slash and cut the shit out of people. Prototype 2 is that game. That's what they said. I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, well, I guess that's kind of how the game is going to technically be advertised in a sense. The game where you just cut and slash every motherfucking thing in sight and just let all your rage come out in a single explosion. You know, like the special attacks when you gotta click like both buttons and like tendril attacks and all that shit. So yeah, it's just something. I haven't heard anything from Radical Entertainment since Prototype 2 at all. So, and they talking about they got a new game eventually. They didn't say anything about it. They said they're working on that great, amazing project. So I don't know what they're talking about right now. It could be something grand. They haven't really said anything about it. It's been about 2 years since then, so they haven't really said much. So yeah, that's the main reason why. Prototype 2 didn't get enough sales. Plain and simple. Prototype 2 did not get enough sales to garner, a bigger series. Because I think, like I said, Radical Entertainment is done with Prototype. I don't think they're going to do Prototype anymore. I think Prototype 2 was the curtain call for Radical Entertainment. If somebody else wants to take Prototype, they can take it. They can do that. I think this publishing would still be under Activision, but another developer can work on it. Radical Entertainment? No, not anymore. I don't think so. And, it's always good to look into the future about these things, but, Prototype, that might be just it. Or, I don't know. Love to see a third Prototype, maybe with a chick, a female, but, that's whenever. So, that's just state my thoughts. If you, like I said, you have your opinions. Everybody has their own opinion. So, if anything, post it in the comment section. Post it in the discussion section. Like my videos. Subscribe to my videos. Like my Facebook page. Nick the Bandit. Follow me on Twitter, Nickarice26. And yeah, okay. Yeah, that's it, really. So, like, I've got, like, a certain schedule I'm trying to get. I'm trying to put, like, a video pretty much, like, every day. Maybe 2 videos every day. So, I'll see what I can do. Next thing I'm thinking about talking about might be Kingdom Hearts. I don't know right now. It could be Kingdom Hearts, or it could be something about Naruto, games. Not too much anime. We could talk about that eventually if anybody wants to talk about it. Like I said, comment if you want to talk about them things, but I'll talk about more or less like the games, like Storm, and how I think there should be a little bit more Naruto games coming around this time, for different systems and everything else. So I gotta make a decision about that next. So, yeah, this is Nick the Bandit, getting off.